Did you know one of Britain's most respected films survives today, only in broken pieces? Its original negative vanished, hundreds of cans of footage disappeared, and the director spent the rest of his life trying to rebuild it. But was this only an accident, or something much stranger? Today, The Wicker Man is praised as one of Britain's greatest films and a key work of folk horror. Yet no one can watch the exact movie director Robin Hardy completed in 1973. What remains are several cuts built from surviving footage: an 87-minute theatrical version, a 96-minute version, a 99-minute director's cut, and a 93-minute final cut. Each contains something the others may not. None is complete. The film did not simply fail and get forgotten. Its physical history was nearly erased. The original negative, alternate takes, extra scenes, and daily footage all disappeared. And the number connected to this mystery is huge. Around 368 cans of film material reportedly vanished. Christopher Lee was one of the biggest names attached to the project. At the time, many viewers knew him mainly for playing Dracula, but Lee wanted something different. He believed The Wicker Man gave him a role that was richer, stranger, and more interesting than the parts he was usually offered. He reportedly cared about the film so much that he worked without his normal acting fee. Later, he called it one of the best films of his career. He also became the loudest public voice fighting for the movie after its release went wrong. Lee phoned critics, spoke about the film in interviews, and kept saying that audiences had not seen the version originally made. But even he could not bring back what was gone. Before we go deeper, subscribe to the channel and tap the like button if you enjoy forgotten stories from cinema history. Also, tell us in the comments which version of The Wicker Man you first watched, because there is a good chance you did not see the same film as everyone else. The movie was filmed in Scotland in late 1972. That created a major problem. The story takes place in spring, around the time of May Day, when flowers bloom and the land looks warm and alive. The production, however, was shooting in October and November. Scotland in those months did not look like spring. The trees were bare. The air was cold. Rain, sleet, and snow made the work difficult. To fix the look, crew members attached fake blossoms to empty branches. Actors wore clothes meant for warmer weather while standing in freezing conditions. At times, performers reportedly put ice in their mouths before a take so their warm breath would not show on camera. That detail shows how rushed the production was. British Lion was in business trouble, had changed ownership, and faced claims that it was being broken apart for its assets. The studio needed to appear active, so The Wicker Man went into production at the wrong time. The fake flowers were a sign of a company under pressure. Then the situation became even more confusing. During editing, EMI bought British Lion. New people took control. The project changed hands several times. By the time Robin Hardy finished his version, many people in charge had little connection to the original plan. They did not fully understand why the movie had been made, what kind of audience it needed, or why the longer version mattered. This is where Michael Deeley enters the story. Deeley was a British Lion executive who has often been blamed for what happened next. Christopher Lee said Deeley called The Wicker Man one of the 10 worst films he had ever seen. Deeley denied saying that. For years, Deeley was treated as the executive who disliked the movie, cut it down, and pushed it out as the second film on a double bill. But the truth may be more complicated. Some film historians have argued that Deeley was not trying to destroy the film. He may have looked at it as a business problem. Double features were becoming less popular. The movie had a sad ending, unusual songs, pagan customs, and a style that was hard to market. So the cuts may have been made because the studio wanted a faster movie that could fit a release plan. There may not have been one clear villain. Confusion, money trouble, weak management, and lack of care may have caused the damage. The movie was shortened to about 87 minutes for its first major release. Important scenes were removed. One missing section showed Sergeant Howie on the mainland before he traveled to the island. In that material, viewers saw more of his church life and his relationship with his fiancée. Other scenes reportedly showed him visiting a mainland pub and speaking with a woman there. These moments were meant to show his strict values before he entered the very different world of Summerisle. Without those scenes, his character changes. He appears on the island almost at once, and viewers get less time to understand him. The church sequence later returned, but not from the original negative. It survived through an old video copy found in America. That is why some longer versions suddenly look softer and rougher during those scenes. The image quality drops because the film footage itself was no longer available. There were other strange differences too. One version includes an animated image of Nuada, the sun god, at the beginning and end. Yet that image is missing from a longer version that is supposed to be more complete. A longer running time does not always mean a more complete film. One cut may restore a scene, but lose a title card or music. Each version is a different puzzle. Some scenes have never returned at all. The original script and production photographs suggest that an entire character named Ash Buchanan was filmed and later removed. Other missing sections included more village dancing, more religious customs, more scenes with children, and extra moments involving the baker, the fishmonger, the doctor, and the chemist. There was also more dialogue about apples, nature, belief, and the island's way of life. These details made the island feel like a complete society. Removing them made the movie faster, but its world became smaller. Then came the biggest loss of all. The original negative and roughly 368 cans of production material disappeared. That material could have included alternate takes, unused scenes, camera tests, and other footage that might have helped rebuild Hardy's full version. The official explanation says the cans were placed with unwanted material during a studio clear-out. They were then taken away and buried under a motorway. Robin Hardy began looking for the missing material only a few years after release. By then, it was already gone. That is important. This was not a case of footage sitting untouched for 30 or 40 years. The loss happened very quickly. Hardy spent much of the rest of his life trying to rebuild the movie. A longer version appeared in 1979. Another director's cut arrived in 2001, using video material where film could not be found. Then, in 2013, a 35mm print discovered at Harvard helped create what became known as the final cut. Each version restored something, but none was Hardy's complete movie. The personal cost was even greater. Hardy and his family had taken financial risks to make the project happen. His wife, Caroline, reportedly invested about £27,000. In today's money, estimates place that amount somewhere between roughly £500,000 and £1 million, depending on how the value is measured. When the film failed to bring in money, the family suffered. They lost their home while trying to deal with debts linked to the production. The pressure also damaged the marriage. For Hardy, the film became a lifelong task he could never finish. He directed only 2 more feature films. One was The Wicker Tree in 2011, a spiritual follow-up rather than a direct sequel. Hardy died in 2016, still without finding the full original version. Years later, his sons Justin and Dominic examined the boxes he left behind. They went through scripts, letters, notes, photographs, and storyboards. Their documentary, Children of the Wicker Man, brought new attention to what the movie had done to their family. It premiered at Grimmfest in 2024. The public story focused on Lee, the famous star who worked for free and fought for the film. But Hardy lived with the bills, the lost house, the damaged marriage, and the endless search. That human cost is often missing from trivia lists. Ari Aster's Midsommar, who entered an isolated community with bright old customs and a hidden plan. Aster has spoken about trying not to copy The Wicker Man too closely, while still knowing its basic path. Writer Grady Hendrix jokingly called Midsommar, "The Wicker Man Goes to IKEA." Gareth Evans also confirmed that Apostle was influenced by Hardy's film. Other modern movies linked to the same folk horror tradition include Kill List, A Field in England, In the Earth, The Witch, and The Ritual. Even Get Out can be compared to its basic structure. An outsider enters a polite community, notices small warning signs, and slowly learns that the group has a plan for him. That pattern feels familiar now. In 1973, it felt new. The Wicker Man also arrived during a difficult moment in British history. The country was facing strikes, political fear, energy problems, IRA attacks, and the three-day working week. The hopeful culture of the 1960s was fading. The film showed a beautiful island with songs, flowers, smiles, and old traditions. But under that beauty was control. One powerful leader guided the whole community. The people accepted what they were told. An outsider believed he understood the situation, but every step had already been planned. The film became a story about power, belief, identity, and the danger of trusting appearances. Its final image is one of the most famous endings in British cinema. The story also matters because films can still vanish today. Streaming platforms remove shows, studios cancel finished projects, digital files can be deleted, master recordings can be lost when companies change systems, physical discs are becoming less common, and viewers often do not own the movies they watch. The Wicker Man showed this danger 50 years ago. A masterpiece does not survive simply because it is good. It survives because someone protects it. Christopher Lee made phone calls. Robin Hardy searched archives. Researchers studied old photographs. Collectors saved prints. Without those people, the movie might have disappeared completely. Film history is full of losses. Around 90% of silent films are believed to be gone. Many early Doctor Who episodes were erased or thrown away because broadcasters did not think they would be needed again. The same mistake can happen whenever a company decides an old work has no value. Every film is one storage decision, one missing label, or one careless clean-out away from being lost. The Wicker Man survived as a ghost of itself. We can watch and study its different cuts, but we cannot see exactly what Hardy and Lee watched in 1973. Perhaps the negative truly lies under a motorway. Perhaps it was destroyed in a lab. Perhaps it still sits inside an unmarked can in a forgotten storeroom. Until someone finds proof, the mystery remains. And that may be the final reason the film still holds us. The story on screen is about a man who arrives too late to understand the plan around him. The story behind the screen is about artists who realized too late that their film was disappearing. The more the studio cut it down, the larger its legend became. The more people tried to bury it, the more strongly it returned. The complete film may be gone, but its influence is everywhere. So, which explanation do you believe? Was the negative lost through simple carelessness, deliberately removed, or hidden somewhere waiting to be found? Share your answer below, and subscribe for more forgotten stories from cinema history. Some films end when the screen goes dark. This one is still unfinished.